There will come a day when your heart whispers, "I can't do this anymore," when everything you've tried feels like it's falling. Part in your hands. You'll look around and wonder why everyone else seems to be moving forward while you feel stuck in place. You'll question your purpose. You'll question your path. You might even question yourself, and that's okay. Because even the strongest souls reach their breaking point. Even the brightest lights flicker when the storm grows too dark. But here's what most people forget. It's in those very moments, when you feel like giving up, that your story is quietly testing its strength. The truth is, no breakthrough ever comes before the breaking. Every mountain you've ever climbed was once an impossible wall. You didn't make it this far because things were easy. You made it because something inside you refused to quit. So when your heart feels heavy and your mind tells you to stop, pause. Don't run, just breathe. Because giving up doesn't come from weakness. It comes from being tired of carrying the weight alone. But you are not alone. You carry within you every moment you've survived before. Every tear that taught you strength. Every fall that taught you how to rise. You are built from comebacks no one ever saw. From battles you never told anyone about. And right now, when you feel like walking away, that's when life is quietly asking, how much do you still believe in yourself? This is not the end of your story. It's just the part where the hero feels lost before finding their way again. When you feel like giving up, remember, the moment before dawn is always the darkest. The tide always pulls back before it returns stronger than before. That's how life tests you. Not to see if you'll fail, but to see if you'll still choose to rise. Because every dream worth chasing will ask you one question before it becomes real. How much are you willing to endure? And if you can answer with silence, if you can stay, breathe, and take one more step when everything hurts, you'll begin to see the truth. The struggle isn't your enemy. It's your forge. It's the place where courage is shaped, where faith is refined, where you become the kind of person who no longer just survives life, but builds it. So don't curse the waiting. Don't resent the slow climb. Every second you spend holding on is a seed being planted in the soil of your becoming, and one day you'll wake up and realize the pain that once felt unbearable is now the reason you're unshakable. Because you didn't give up. You bent, but you didn't break. You doubted, but you didn't stop. That's the difference between those who dream and those who live their dreams. Not talent, not luck, but the decision, again and again, to keep walking when no one claps, to keep believing when no one sees. So when the road feels endless and your hope feels small, remember, every step forward, no matter how slow, is proof that you're still in the fight. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply not quit today. And maybe this is what strength really looks like. Not standing tall, but standing again. Maybe courage isn't about never falling, but about whispering, "Not yet," every time the world tells you to quit, because sometimes life doesn't give you a clear sign to keep going. Sometimes it just gives you a quiet morning, a small breath, a heartbeat that still refuses to stop, and that's enough reason to try again. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a defiance of everything that tried to break you. You've come through storms you never thought you'd survive. You've carried pain you thought would never end. But here you are, still standing, still breathing, still searching for light. And that means something. That means there's still more to your story. You see, giving up ends the chapter, but holding on, even just one more day, keeps the story alive. And the world needs your story, because somewhere someone else is ready to give up too. And your courage, your choice to stay, might just be the proof they need that they can stay too. So don't underestimate the power of not quitting. Sometimes your endurance is the quiet miracle that keeps hope alive in others. And maybe the reason you haven't seen the results yet is because you're still being prepared for them. The waiting, the silence, the setbacks, they aren't punishment. They're refinement. Life has a way of testing your patience before it trusts you with what you've asked for. It doesn't hand you peace. It teaches you how to build it. So if everything feels slow, if it feels like your effort isn't enough, remember, you're not being delayed. You're being developed. Because real growth isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself with applause. It happens quietly. In the moments when no one's watching, when you choose to keep believing even with an exhausted heart. You're learning how to be steady in a world that keeps shaking. You're learning that peace doesn't come from the absence of struggle, but from the presence of faith. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll wake up lighter. The same road that once felt endless will finally make sense. You'll see how every pause was guiding you toward alignment, how every detour was shaping your direction. And you'll smile, not because everything turned out perfect, but because you did. Because you became the kind of person who doesn't crumble under pressure, but becomes wiser through it. So no, this isn't where your story ends. This is where it begins again. Stronger, quieter, and more true than ever before. There will be moments ahead when the world will test you again. Moments when you'll feel that same weight, that same doubt creeping back in. And when it does, you'll remember this time. You'll remember how far you came, how much strength it took just to stay. You'll see that all along you were never failing. You were forming. You were learning patience in the waiting. You were learning trust in the silence. You were learning resilience in the pain. Every trial was training your heart to hold peace in the middle of chaos. So don't rush what's becoming of you. Let time do its work. Let grace shape what effort alone could not. Because even when you can't see it, life is still moving for you. Things are shifting quietly, aligning in ways you don't yet understand. And one day you'll look back and realize you were never lost. You were being led. Led through the fire so you could find your light. Led through the breaking so you could learn how to heal. Led through the waiting so you could finally see the value of your own strength. So keep walking. Not because it's easy, but because you finally understand why it matters. So when you feel like giving up, when your hands tremble from holding on too long, when your heart feels tired of trying, remember this: you've already made it through everything you once thought you couldn't. You've already stood in the fire and survived. And that means there's more strength in you than you've ever allowed yourself to see. Giving up may feel like relief in the moment, but peace doesn't come from walking away. It comes from knowing you gave your all, from choosing to stay present even when it hurts. Sometimes the hardest part of life isn't fighting the storm. It's believing you'll see the sun again. But you will. You always do. Because nothing stays dark forever. The same way night surrenders to dawn, your pain will give way to light. Your confusion will give way to clarity. And your exhaustion, it will turn into strength you never imagined possible. So stay a little longer. Breathe through the weight. You are not falling behind. You are being rebuilt. And when you rise, not because everything suddenly becomes easy, but because you finally understand who you are, you'll see it clearly. Every struggle, every setback, every tear was not wasted. They were the proof that you refused to be defeated. And that is something no failure can erase. One day, you'll look back on this version of yourself. The one who wanted to quit. The one who was tired. The one who felt invisible. And you'll whisper, "Thank you." Because that was the version that kept going when no one else could see the vision. That was the version that planted the seeds of who you are becoming. And maybe you won't see the reward right away. Maybe the world won't clap and no one will notice how hard it's been to keep going. But that's okay, because not every victory is meant to be seen. Some are meant to be felt. Felt in the calm of your own heart when you realize you didn't break this time. Felt in the quiet pride that comes from knowing you stayed true to yourself. Even when no one was watching. That's what real strength looks like. Not loud, not flashy, but steady, unshaken. Built from every small choice to continue when quitting would have been easier. And that's the kind of strength no one can ever take from you. So when you feel like giving up, don't, not because it's easy, but because deep down, you know this is not where your story ends. It's where your strength begins. It's where your faith grows roots. It's where you learn that even the smallest spark is enough to bring back the light. Keep walking, keep breathing, keep believing. Because someday soon you'll see that every ounce of pain was only preparing you for the life you were always meant to live. And when that day comes, you'll realize you never really wanted to give up. You just wanted to know that everything you've been fighting for was worth it. And it is. It always was. If this message finds you today, it's because you were meant to hear it. Keep going. Your story isn't finished yet.